Hi all, today I'm going to show you a little trick in factorising called the difference of two squares. And the time that you use this trick, the only situation is when you have some variable or number squared minus another variable or number that's squared. And if you ever come to this situation, you put it straight into brackets as whatever your first number or variable was, so in this case A, plus whatever your first number or variable was, in this case B, that's in your first bracket. In your second bracket, it's exactly the same, but your A and your B have a subtraction sign in between them. Now the reason why this occurs is because if I'm given something in this form and I end up expanding it all out and I start simplifying it, what I'll always end up getting is whatever my first term here is squared minus whatever my second term there is. You can just trust me on that one. Now something you have to be careful of using this trick is that you don't always see it straight away. So sometimes you can't actually see the little squares. And you just got to do a little bit of thinking and a little bit of manipulation before you use it. So have a look at a couple of examples. We'll start off with some easy ones. We'll get harder as we go. For the first one, simple. We've just got a y squared, take away 3 squared. So it's already in that form where you've got two squared numbers and a subtraction in between them. And if you're looking at it and you forget this rule, you'll be looking at it going, oh look, there's nothing that's in common. This guy hasn't got a y, he hasn't got any 3s. What am I going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to use the difference of two squares rule. So all we do, it's your first letter or number, so y, plus your second variable or number, so y plus 3, and your second bracket, it's just the first one, subtract the second one, and you're all done. It's that easy if you can remember it. Let's go to a tougher example. For this one, we've got an x squared. You got a subtraction sign, so it kind of looks like it's a difference of two squares rule. But oh, hang on, you got a 64. There's no squared. What's going on? Now, what you're gonna have to do is hopefully you realize that 64 is a square number, so you can find the square root of 64. Hopefully, you realize 64 is 8 times 8. So I'm gonna rewrite 64 as 8 squared because it's 8 times 8. So it's gonna be x squared. Take 8 squared. And then, oh hey, it looks like the one that we did before. So now it's already in that square form. It's just the first one plus the second one in the first bracket. So x plus 8. In your second bracket, it's x subtract 8. And again, you're all done. Well, that's a little bit tougher. Only because it has a little bit more to it. You've got an x squared, so something squared, take away, and you've got something in brackets squared as well. So it's still in that form where you've got just a single thing squared. And because it's in brackets, this whole thing is squared. So it's still in that correct form. So if I put it in brackets, it's going to be your x plus the whole bracket, so 3y. And then your second bracket, it's going to be x subtract everything that's in your bracket, so 3y. And you're done. Now sometimes if they want to be really mean, or a little bit tricky to test you out, sometimes your number, like in this example here, it's not a square number, and what you need to do is force it to be a square number so that you could factorize it. Now, in order to force it to be a square number, what we can do is we can take the square root of that 7. So I'll rewrite out the x squared first. So I've got x squared, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to square root the number 7. And then what I'm going to do is square the whole thing. So if I start off with the number 7, which I have, if I square root it, it's going to give me some sort of a number. But if I then square it, it will undo the square root. So I'm going to end up still with the number 7. So the square root of 7 squared is just the number 7 again. But you can see now that you've got something squared, take away something else that's squared, and then you can use your difference of two squares rule. So it's going to end up being your first variable, so just x, plus your second one, which is root 7. In your second bracket, it's just going to be the opposite, x subtract root 7. And then you're done. Alright, thanks for listening. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.